Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome back to another Christmas edition of Saturday Horror Movie Reviews. I almost said Spooky Sunday Stories because I've been filming those so much back to back. That's not what this is. This is Saturday Horror Movie Reviews. And today I am joined by Lexi, who is someone that
Hi.
I met through the guys over at Horror Fiend TV. She is definitely a horror fanatic. I'm going to put her social media stuff in the description for this episode so you can make sure you go follow her. And yeah, today we're going to be talking, in case the background didn't super give it away, the 2015 Christmas horror movie Krampus.
Krampus.
Yeah,
How exciting.
yeah, I'm excited. This is a good one. This was Lexi picked this one when we talked about doing movies.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is but I'm very excited that you picked it because I really do like this movie, and I don't think I've ever talked about it on my channel before at all, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, so this came out in 2015. It is currently streaming on Peacock. The reviews for this, IMDb, it's got a 6.2 out of 10, 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, 3 out of 5 on Common Sense something media, maybe. So I don't know what that is. 75% on Google. I was open to Rotten Tomatoes. So the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes is 51%. But anyway, 66 is the critics. The synopsis for this is kind of long, so I'm going to sum it up. If you're not familiar with Krampus lore, Krampus takes people who are greedy and selfish and mean, and they don't do good things, and he takes them away. And so the short version of what this film is about this family who gets together for Christmas, and they're not super nice to each other, and there's a lot going on. And then Krampus shows up to show them, what the meaning of the holiday is, so to speak. So that's the synopsis. Yeah, so if you had to give this, what would you give this out of 10?
Me, out of 10. Probably a good 7.
Yeah.
Maybe 7, 8-ish. I like it. It's like, to me, it's a horror comedy.
Yes.
There's definite comedy to it. And I mean, look at the cast.
Oh, yeah.
They all come from comedy movies. So,
Yep.
When it first starts off, with the cast coming in as family. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, we all have that family member. That one family member, you're just like, dying to get it over with. I don't want to say it because, mom is watching.
I got it. Yeah.
But, we all have that person. We're just like, you have to pregame before they come over for the holidays. So to have that feeling personally and then watch it on screen for this movie, it was hilarious. So, and then you see who's in the movie, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be great.
It's going to be
You have
fun.
all the great comedic actors in this one. So,
yeah.
But on the horror side, it definitely, I feel, has a great story on the horror side. So it works. And it's nice to see those comedic actors, at times be serious. And so I love that they can play both roles.
Yeah. I think so this is, for me, this is probably an 8 for me as well. It's not my absolute favorite Christmas horror movie, but it's pretty up there as far as like favorites. And I agree. I think the cast is what makes this, on top of some of the effects and stuff that when we get into like the toys and like the kind of just all of that stuff. But yeah, the cast is really what makes this, because it's almost like a movie of two halves. The first half is very like silly family comedy drama, and then the second half is like this, like, oh no, like there's like really bad things going on and we have to figure out how to make it through the night.
Right.
And I really liked that. I don't actually typically like horror comedies. I'm very picky about comedic elements in my horror movies, but I think because it's a holiday film, it just works on like a different level than like a normal, horror movie trying to be funny.
And it wasn't overdone.
No.
It was not overdone.
Yep.
They definitely had more horror side to it than it did funny.
Yeah.
But I love the hints of funniness to it. It made you giggle.
Yeah. And what's true is there's even a little bit of the comedic relief in the horror stuff, but to your point, it's just it's very well balanced. So it doesn't feel like it's like overly silly.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think, unspoiled, I think this is, I think it's just a really fun movie. I think is it like PG-13? I'm pretty sure it's like
Yeah.
PG-13.
Right.
I don't think it's rated R. I don't think there's
Yeah,
like
I'm very
there's
picky with PG-13, so it's like it
yeah,
really works.
it's
It's a nice
PG-13.
holiday family movie, to be honest. I'd let my child watch it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just get the family together and watch it. It's hilarious.
it's fun.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, uh, like we are been saying, the whole cast is perfectly picked for this movie.
Yep.
Comedic side, there is definitely more horror to it than it is comedic, and so that's why I like that they were
Yeah.
able to play both roles. It's perfect. But
Yeah.
I give it a 7 because I'm more of a horror person than I am comedic.
Yep,
So
that's
I
the
think
same
it brings
reason
it
it's
down a
not
little
higher
bit
for
from the
me.
8.
Yeah, no, that's why it's not higher for me too. I think had this been a film that was rated R and
Mhm.
went in a much more
Right.
because there was a lot of potential for this to get really dark as far as
Right.
gore and some sequences that could have happened that could have been a lot more intense than they were. And I think if they had gone that route, I mean it works fine as it is, but if they had gone that route, it would definitely have a higher rating for me for sure.
Mhm. For
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah, there's no language, there's no gore. The
Mhm.
violence is almost silly violence. It's like super like
Yeah.
lighthearted violence. I don't know how else to put it. That sounds weird, but
Right. And they
um
throw comedic into the violence, so
they do.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Their reaction, like the characters reacting to some of the violence that happens is actually pretty funny, some of it.
Right.
Which we'll jump into when we get to spoilers in just a second. But yeah, no, I think it's a really strong film. And I like that, and there's other like Krampus movies that exist. There's older ones, there's some that are relatively new.
Mhm.
But I liked I think that the lore for Krampus was kept together really well for this too.
Yeah.
Um which I won't say, I mean, I'm not going to mention how it ends until we get to the spoiler part, but it's like there
Mhm.
was some they're just like they're tie-ins to it. It like
Mhm.
basically he wasn't just Krampus isn't just a monster. Like that they just used Krampus as like the face for this monster. Like they did incorporate some of the lore, and I thought that was handled really well too. On the storytelling side of things too.
Right.
Yeah. That's probably all I can say unspoiled. Did you have anything else unspoiled?
No, we basically summed it up right there.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you're watching this and you haven't seen Krampus, it's streaming on Peacock. I assume the further we get into December, it's probably gonna be available in more places. But I definitely recommend it. It is a really fun movie. It's great
I
Christmas
do too.
horror. It's a lot of fun. So,
Yeah, like I said, just get your family together and just watch it.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
PG-13, 13 and up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna go into spoilers then. Let's spoil it.
Yep.
So I'm gonna ask you this first, and I know it's gonna sound weird to ask this first, but I'm really curious about because I've read different reviews about the movie as a whole. What's your interpretation of the ending with the snow globe on the shelf?
Hmm. So I like the way it ends because it leaves you with more questions than answers. And you
Yes.
could tell there's probably going to be more sequels, which, spoiler alert, I haven't seen any of the other ones besides this one.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching this years and years ago when it first came out,
Yeah.
and I liked it, and I haven't watched it again until you asked me to
Oh yeah.
be a part of this. I was like, you know what? I have to do Krampus because I can't pronounce it very correctly.
That's okay.
I'm like Krampus. I can never say it right the first time ever. But yes, when you first came to me about horror Christmas movies, this is the first one I thought of, and I was like, I've
Yeah.
always liked this one, and I couldn't remember why until I watched it again recently, and I was like, this is why I like it.
Yeah.
No wonder it stuck with me over all these years.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. But the snow globe at the end, I think, is an awesome touch because he basically got his wish, but in such kind of a horrible way. I mean, that's what it
Yeah.
is, though. It's a horror movie, so with
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
comedic kick to the ass.
Yeah.
Oh, you want your family back? You're gonna be sitting on my shelf with it.
Forever.
But I mean, the family's reaction in the snow globe at the end, though, you know, I didn't expect that reaction,
Yeah.
because I thought he truly, you think oh, the devil had a heart, but then I was like, oh, good twist, good twist. He
Yeah.
didn't have a heart the whole time.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
family's face's reaction I didn't expect, and so because he opens the gift and
And everyone's like,
the gift in
yeah.
the ball, and yeah, I'm like, but I thought this was all washed away. How do they know about it? And I'm like, jokes
Yeah.
on the whole family. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I actually know people that didn't interpret it as they're trapped forever. Like I've read reviews and talked to other people about this movie
Really?
who thought that like they just got to live out the rest of their lives. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Like
Mhm.
the whole point behind lore behind Krampus isn't that he like shakes his finger at you, you learn your lesson and you get to go on your merry way. Like that's not what happens.
Right.
So yeah, when he opened, I was like, oh, okay, like they get up Christmas morning and everyone's fine and everyone's like happy and acting like nothing ever happened. You're like, all right, cool. And then, like you said, he opens that box and that little bell is in there. And I was like, okay. And then the way, and like, same, like what you said, like I watched
Yeah.
them all like this moment of like realization of like, oh shit, that was real.
Yeah, like, let's not talk about this. Let's not bring this up. I'm
No,
like, hey, what's
yeah,
going
we're just gonna keep moving along. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I loved it. I thought the ending was like that was probably lore-wise the most lore they did the whole film. I love that part. And then it like zooms out and they're in that snow globe on the shelf, and I'm like,
It was a perfect ending.
oh God, it's so good. I love it
And
so much.
unexpected, because I was like, oh, and I don't even remember that part as watching it when I was younger. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
ending.
And it's
But
interesting because, like, when you watch because it is kind of so family friendly, I think it's like it's a huge misdirect because you really do think it's going to end like a Hallmark family movie, like everybody gets to have Christmas together. So it was, yeah, this is so well done. The
yeah,
pacing on
it
that
was
moment is just so good.
and then
Yeah.
you see all the other snow globes, and I'm like, dang, how many families were affected by this? And but with Grandma's story, or I don't even, yeah, it was Grandma.
Yeah, grandma.
Grandma's story,
Yeah.
there's obviously other stories besides hers, besides theirs. So, and I think that's where all the other movies, I guess, come in. And I just haven't seen it. I don't know how it all ties into the snow globes.
I haven't seen any other ones either,
Yeah.
actually.
Now it makes me
I've only seen
nervous.
this.
Yeah.
I think I probably just assumed because they were like sequels, they probably weren't very good. Because I
Hmm.
feel like this one is so good that I probably had like really low expectations for.
Right. I feel that, but I also am curious.
Oh yeah, no, me too. Yeah,
Definitely curious.
yeah,
I'm gonna have to watch the
um,
other ones.
yeah. I really liked. And the other thing I thought was I really loved the little. I think the like what are they like gingerbread cookies? The little
Yes.
They're they're like my favorite thing when they're
Yeah.
in the kitchen and like lighting shit on fire. Like there's that like whole sequence with them and them fighting them was like one of my favorite sequences in the movie. That was so funny.
Right. Yeah. Especially with I'm so bad with names, but the bald guy who
Yeah.
plays it,
Oh, I don't know their
I
names
love
either.
him. I know all these actors, and I know by face and not by name. But
Yeah.
the whole, the gingerbread's coming at him, and then the dog eats it. That
Oh
part
God,
was
so
hilarious.
funny.
I was like, what a great way to end their lives.
Yeah. That
But
that whole scene is so funny. And when
so
I see
funny.
that guy, I don't know his name either, but I always think of him his awful, awful character in The Office.
Yes.
I
Oh,
always think of that. I know he's been in like a million other things, but whenever I see him, I immediately think of his role in The Office. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, that scene was really, really funny. And I really like I've always thought that Toni Collette was like a really well-rounded actress to begin with. I think she can play like so many different things. She's not just this like one trick pony, as it were. Like she, when she did her, because she's in Hereditary. When she did Hereditary, like she's like the only actress I remember. The other guys, the other main guy, the husband's like Adam something, isn't it? The guy
Yeah.
from
He's
Step
from the
Brothers.
Step Brothers. Yeah.
Step Brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the
Derek,
Step
Step
Brothers.
Brothers, yeah.
And
Adam's
so,
something, I think, but
and I think a few others were in Step. I think the guy, the bald, barely any hair guy, was in Step Brother. I think. I could
maybe.
be wrong,
Can't
but I
remember.
feel like they've all been in. They came across each other more than once,
Yeah,
and so it was nice to see them all come together again in something
yeah,
different.
yeah. I think and then there's like the 2 different sets of kids. I think all of the kid actors and actresses did really well too, because
Yeah.
like the what is it? The sisters' kids
Mhm.
are complete assholes. Like they're not
Yeah,
fun, happy. Like you're just like,
right.
ugh. Like I wouldn't want to deal with these people
My
either.
favorite had to be what, Aunt Doris was her name? Or
Oh,
the
the kind of like, yeah, the like
yes,
like the rude one, the really rude
yes.
one.
Yeah, I loved her though.
She was funny.
I have family members like that, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, no,
I have
I loved
somebody that
her.
fits all of those character types, I think. At least, yeah, most of them. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was pretty funny.
especially when they're like, "Hey, shoot," and she's like, "With pleasure," but then she gets taken out the window.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
but
Yeah.
her attitude the whole time, and then oh my god, very bad part, but she feeds the kids, spiked eggnog, was it, or spiked something,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
hot
yeah.
chocolate, or
Yeah, yeah, whatever it
yeah,
was,
not
yeah.
good. Don't do that. But
She was
she
like
seems like the cool aunt, I guess, or but yeah.
she kinda, like, lives in, like, a different reality while the movie is going
Oh
on,
yeah,
because it takes forever for her to, like, realize, like, this is
what's
serious. Like,
going
she
on?
just kind of is so annoyed by the whole thing,
Right.
like
Mm, but she was funny. She was
she
a
was
bad
funny.
bitch.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
She was. And I really liked too, like, because on some of the more like serious stuff, like I really liked like I'm trying to remember exactly what they say, but there's this really cute moment where Tony Collette and the guy that plays the husband are like sitting next to each other. It's after their daughter's gone out and hasn't come back yet. And
Right.
they're sitting there, and I forget exactly what she says, but she says something about, she's like, I missed this. I miss laughing together, or something
Mhm.
like that, something to
Yeah.
that effect. Because even though there's like a lot of like comedy, like leading in as the story goes and goes, there's also these like really like sweet moments like that where they're starting to kind of get the picture of like, this is the point. The point is you've gotten so wrapped up in how much you hate doing this and you don't want to do it, and you spend all the time and money doing the shopping and doing the food, and like, and you're sitting here like realizing that you don't really have what you used to have with your husband anymore. Like there's just like these like
Right.
little story moments like that that are
Yeah,
actually
there's
really
tension.
sweet. Yeah,
Right.
like, and I can't remember exactly what she says,
And
but
it
there
even
this I
says it
know.
in the son's letter, that he writes to Santa, that he just wants his family back together. And I think there was even a question of their love for each other anymore. And so
Mhm.
there, like you said, little stories kind of
Yeah.
sweep in to tie in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Little side stories.
And you've got of course, the chaotic sister with a million kids and the crazy husband, but, like, they're all very, like, they're all very close. Like, even though they live a very chaotic life and she has, like,
Hmm.
so many kids, like, there's these moments with them and the husband that you're just like, I don't know, there's really touching moments. It's such an
Hmm.
interesting balance, 'cause it is almost like a Hallmark movie. Like, if you took out,
Right.
like, the horror stuff and you just
Right.
did, like, maybe the first half, I don't know what else you'd do with it, but if you did, like,
And
the
it's
first half, it's
funny because
yeah.
I'm kind of both sides of the family. Like I am on the oh God, again, I'm bad with names, but the first family we see, the
Yeah.
normal family,
Yeah.
I'm that person. I just want everything to be perfect. Let's all
Yeah.
have a good time, get dinner ready. And then the crazy family comes in, and I'm kind of like them too.
Also
I
that too.
have guns myself. And so it's like, I'm going to fight for my family, and we're a little bit crazy. Like, but to have both those dynamic duos come in and work together was awesome.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
that's what family is. We fight, we bicker, but we come together when shit hits the
When you
fan.
have to, yeah, when things
Yeah,
when things get bad, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and they're yeah, because even, like, those more quiet moments when they're, like, in the living room and it's already dark and, like, this is long after the daughter's been gone, but, like, all those little moments of, like, they're just all, like, sitting there together, and it's right before things in the attic go really crazy, but oh, and you know what else I almost forgot to mention this. The other thing I love that I actually wish there had been more of was the elves.
Hmm. Yeah.
They were so neat looking, like, when they're, like, moving outside behind the snowman, I was like, "Mm-mm, fuck that," like, that's
Yeah.
scary.
They're the
I
ones
don't like
building the snowmen because it
yeah,
started with one, then there was two, then there was
uh-huh.
eight, and then I'm like, oh man, there's an army of snow people out
I
there.
was like, "That is so creepy," and then that you just catch the glimpses of them moving, like, you don't
Yeah.
actually, and they're the ones I think that come in through the window or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, they were really cool. I really liked them a lot, but we didn't get to see them
Yeah.
that much. There's only like
No, not that
a
much.
couple of quick moments, but that was really cool too. And the Krampus design, I of course thought was great. I have no
Oh
complaints
yeah.
there.
Hmm.
His like
Yeah.
witch hands. I don't
And
know.
I
Those
like the story and concept behind it because Christmas is supposed to be out, believing in Santa, having joy, be cheery, be jolly. And then
Mhm.
when people lose that belief in Santa, then Krampus comes in. Krampus, however the hell you say his name. Yeah. Like I
Krampus.
like the evil side of the whole
Yeah.
jolly feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And
I do too.
get
I think
Nana then.
I'm not like a really big Christmas person. Like I don't
Mhm,
really care.
mhm,
I have to because I have a small kid, but
mhm,
like Christmas has just never been like my thing. Like I don't get into the decorations, I don't get into the music and the movies and like the blah blah blah. Like I just don't get into that.
right.
So this is such an easy thing for me to be interested in as a part of Christmas because it's like
Mhm,
such a like dark take on Christmas because
right.
it's like, it's
Mhm,
such a it's like all like the things that I'm interested in with this holiday that I don't normally care about. And I've said that I would like by the time this month is over, I will have said this like a million times. One of my favorite things about Christmas is Christmas horror because I think it is like there's just something like you said, there's just something so like magical as it were about taking something that's supposed to be like really happy and fun and joyful and like covering it in like black paint. Like it's just
right.
like I love it. Yeah.
Right. No, and we can't forget about Nana, who brings the whole story together. She's
Yes.
very vital and very important in the story, in the whole
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
because obviously she has history with Krampus.
Wait, you did good. No,
However,
you did good that time.
uh, sorry, I'm getting over a cold, guys.
No, you're all right.
But yeah, her line is just so important. Her role is important because she tells the background of the story. The family kind of believes it, kind of doesn't.
Yeah.
Depends on the family member, right?
Yeah.
But
That's true. The kids are freaked out. The parents are like, okay, that's enough. Like,
right, and
yeah.
then we got Aunt Doris or whatever her name was, just like whatever. She don't believe it. And so where's
Yeah.
the eggnog spiked?
That's right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love the background of the story and how it um she explains, her parents were taken probably because they were bickering, right?
Yep.
So, the joy of Christmas is kind of fading between their relationship. She's
Mhm.
trying to keep the family together. She believes in, in love, I guess. And I guess that's the Hallmark side of it.
Yeah, right.
And then she believes in Christmas. But
Yeah.
then, her family gets dragged. He doesn't drag her, I think, because a part of Krampus wants people to believe, so he doesn't have to do what he does. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what's in his thought process, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna not give a fuck, then
Yeah.
you're gonna die.
Yeah. Well, I think if I remember correctly, didn't she say she also wrote a letter?
Yeah, and then she
Yeah, so that seems to be the connection. So, the little
right.
boy is the one that opens the bell. So there
Mhm.
seems to be this like correlation between the one that wants everything to be better.
Mhm.
It's almost like beckoning a demon. Like it's almost like
Right.
I want this and I'm willing to ask you for it. Can
Mhm.
you come make this better for me without understanding what they're really asking?
But the similarity is that they both ripped up the letter and
They
just
both
tossed it, and so
Yep,
that's what brings Krampus
right.
in.
Yep.
Mhm. That's
Because
what.
it's like that last ditch hope of like that little moment of like, I give up. Like this is
Right.
stupid. I give up. Yeah. And the grandma is German because I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure Krampus is German lore, I think.
Mhm.
Pretty sure that's right. But yeah. And I think too, so when I watch movies, especially horror movies, I really don't like being spoon fed things or like what info dumping. Like I hate that. But I
Mhm.
felt like there were these little nods to her knowing that something was going on. Like there's these moments where she's like, "Oh, this is too familiar. I don't like this." Like she reacts to things with this memory from long ago and then she tells the story. And I think that the way that they paced like her like making that face of like oh, I know what this is, to let me tell you
Sure.
the story and then we move on from that. Like it's all very well done. So you don't feel like you're being treated like an idiot. Like you don't feel like you're like sitting there and they're like, well, they're not going to get
Right.
it. So let's tell them everything, you
And
know?
there was
Like,
also little hints with the son, her son, the father, in
yeah.
where he, uh, well, he hears her say, "Keep the fire hot, keep the
Yes.
fire warm,
Yes.
keep it going,"
Yep.
and then the son, his son is saying, "What's going on with Nana or Grandma?" And he's like,
Oh,
"No,
yeah, yeah,
she
yeah.
acts like this every year because she knows every
She's
year to keep the
yeah.
fire hot." She's
Yeah.
been protective of the entire family over the
That's
years.
true. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So I think she's been keeping that fire every year. And so I don't know what changed that year. It's just so much dishope, and that's not even a word, but just just like
Sure
not
is.
a lot of joy. Everybody just wants things to get over with and let's get this done.
Yeah.
And like it's not the same as it should have been. And so I think over the years she's observed that. And so she has to keep the fire warm, keep her family safe. But I think it was a reality check, honestly.
Yeah. No, I agree. Well, and I think like everyone always says, like, there's always that whole message of like, oh, it should be the season of giving and, it should be about family. It shouldn't be about material stuff. And like we say that until we're blue in the face. But I feel like this doesn't necessarily give you that message in like an overly used cliche. Like it really isn't just as simple as like, oh, love your family. It's like it recognizes through all the different dynamics, the different characters, like some of the stuff we've already talked about, that there's all these different layers to relationships around the holidays. There's all these different types of things, these types of family members, these types of family bonds, these types of relationships between a mother and her daughter that's a teenager versus a mother and her son who's not a teenager, and her husband and her sister. And like, so there's all these different pieces to it, that it's not as simple as like, oh, it should be about family. It's like, it should be about all of these different pieces at different levels, because it's not
Right.
this super simple thing to just be like, oh yeah, I love my family. Like, it's not that simple. And I think that is another thing that it does really well, because it's such an every year we hear that same message, but this delivers it in a way that makes you see it in a more realistic scope versus just being told to be
Right.
nice to your family for the holidays,
Right.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Now the toys. Let's get into those. The toys were awesome.
They were. Do you have a
The
favorite?
creepiest one was the what do you call it?
Jack in the Box?
Box? Yeah.
The clown?
Yeah, and I have a thing for clowns, and I love horror. I love all horror, but clowns freak me the fuck out.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not a fan
I
of
think
clowns.
I got traumatized watching it at like 5. So yeah.
Yeah, and mine is Poltergeist when I was like 4. Clowns are a no thank you for me as well.
Yeah, clowns. Yeah, and I forced myself to watch Terrifier, the first one. Like last week, when I ran a temperature. I was really, really sick last weekend.
Yeah.
At highest temperature I ever ran, but I could not for the life of me go to sleep from the coughing and sneezing. But I put on Terrifier and I was like, oh, it's about a freaking clown.
Yeah.
I'll just keep watching behind my pillow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that yet. I haven't seen The Origin with All Hallows Eve. I haven't seen Terrifier 1.
Me neither. Just the first one.
And I won't see this. I mean, I'm not going to make a point to watch it until I can stream the second one. Because
right.
It's fine. Like some stuff I'm just like horror wise, I'm like really pumped about, but I was not like really pumped about this. I was like, okay. Like, it's just, I'm sure it's great. And no one like type away in my comments. Like,
well,
I'm sure
I finally
it's great.
watched the first one because everybody was talking about the second. I was like, all right, let me get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what the Jack in the Box kind of reminded me of, was all these clowns. But I liked it the most. He was the most creative one. He started such little box and then he grew bigger and bigger. That's creepy. Yeah. He was disgusting.
The shit of nightmares.
The child is inside him because you see him swallow the kid. The biggest kid, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, poor thing.
Oh, and there's something, like, about the way that the face is made too. So, like, when he's doing these things and he's, like, moving around and we get these glimpses off and on, because that's what happens. There's never we get some continuous shots, but most of it's, like, because 'cause we're seeing all these different toys and things too. But
Yeah.
then, like, there's these moments where he's, like, just like, when you do see him, there's just something about the way the face is made,
And
it's
you know what I
so
think that it
unsettling.
is if you think about it in art and all the other clowns, they're made to be scary. This one is an innocent toy child box, and it's an innocent face. It turns evil and has all these teeth like
So
tremors, and like, yeah, you don't expect such an innocent clown face to be so evil, and that's what makes it creepy. I feel, you know,
yeah, yeah. I
you
think,
cannot
like
trust even the innocent clowns.
that's right. Yeah, because well, you're right, and I like, the growth thing is very strange. Like,
Yeah.
that whole like, the concept of the bigger is, like, our brains can't process that fast enough. Because, like,
No.
when I remember, like, what I thought when I realized that that's what was happening when he got bigger and is, like, continued to I was like, "Oh, this is not good." Like,
Right.
not good.
Not
Yeah.
good. No.
Yeah, and I really liked the gingerbread boys,
Yeah.
and then I liked the bear, right? The fluffy
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
the the grizzly bear, the teddy
He's
bear.
cute. I
It
liked him.
was cute.
He was
You he
really
was trying to be scary, but you're still cute.
you're
I
just like,
cuddle it at night.
"Oh, I want one." Yeah.
Yeah. I have to find it.
The
Amazon?
toy I'm sure I was gonna say, there's bound to be something close. It also you know what it kinda reminded me of? Like, it kinda reminded me of, like, a demented Ewok from Star Wars. I was
Right.
like, "Oh, it looks like one." I was like, "That's so cute." That one was cute. I
Yeah.
liked and they were very innovative with the toys. They really
Yeah.
were, because it's
Now
like
the one
all
I didn't like
plastic
was
toys.
the angel crack addict looking Annabelle doll.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that one either.
I didn't care for that
That's
one, but
probably, like, the weakest of the toys, I would say,
yeah.
'cause
Even
she
the robot
didn't
guy was cooler than that.
yeah, yeah. She was kind of, yeah, I don't know. I didn't
Like a
really
freak bird ran over
it was strange.
mm,
I don't yeah, I
roadkill.
think that I it's but I do like that they went, like, classic toys to make them scary, like the old school Jack in the Box. Something as simple as, like, a stuffed teddy bear.
Mhm.
Gingerbread boys that people make, like, not I don't make them, but I know a lot of people that make them, like, for
Mhm.
Christmas, and, like, and an angel that can go on, like, the tree, right? So, like,
Right.
there's all these, like, really, simple, innocent little tie-ins for the toys, but I thought they were really well done.
Yeah, they
Um,
were. I
'Cause
didn't think of it that way. Yeah, it isn't like the
yeah.
coolest newest toy. It's just simple toys we grew up on. Yeah.
Which when you look back, they're terrifying.
Yeah.
I had a Cabbage Patch doll that used to eat things. Like,
Mm,
you'd put things in her mouth, and she would eat them, and they would go out into, like, a backpack in her back,
yeah.
and I remember thinking that was really cool and cute, and then I thought about it, and I was like,
Weird.
"She ate these things, and they came out her back, like, in her backpack." And then I had Furbies. I don't know if you had those, but,
Yes.
like,
Those are creepy, like
they're
little
so
gremlins.
they're so creepy, like
They are.
yeah, so I love that they went very, like, old school toys, like those very basic, like, nobody wants them anymore toys because they're not
Right.
iPads, right? Like, and it just kinda ties into the whole, like, meaning of Christmas or whatever. Like, I thought that was really clever. I liked the design for most of them.
Mhm.
Um, and I think, like, I liked the build up to the toys too, because when I first saw this, I'm trying to think. I don't think I watched anything about it. I think I just randomly decided to watch it. It wasn't in the theaters. I didn't see this one in theaters. But,
Right.
I watched it, and so I didn't know anything about the toys, and they ended up being, like, one of the more fun parts for me, because,
Right.
like, they were so unexpected. I loved them.
Right. Yeah, the Jack in the Box and the gingerbread cookies were the best ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, the gingerbread comes in fairly early, coming down
The
when
chimney,
everybody fell asleep and
the fire goes down. Yep.
the funnier family is supposed to be watching. Yeah. And as soon as I saw him sleep, I was like, oh, great. And you can see behind him, the whole room is dark. I was like, oh, well, there goes the fire.
Oh, and they
And
come
grandma said,
down on that, like, hook thing. I was
yes.
like,
Uh oh. And then I was
they
like, that a
yank up that
dog
one of the
toy? Oh, nope, it's a gingerbread cookie.
yeah, 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 and they'd snatch up one of the kids. That part was good too. I was like, "Ooh."
I didn't like that kid though. He was just quiet. He was dead in the deer headlight type of thing. Like even when they first arrived, and he's like, "How you doing? What'd you ask
Oh,
Santa for Christmas?" And he's just like,
he was weird.
like, okay, why are you in this movie then? He didn't have
Yep.
one line, I don't think,
I
unless
don't
there
think
was something I missed about the kid.
no,
God forgive me.
I don't think he did. I don't think he had anything to say.
He didn't say anything.
Um, yeah, well, and it's so the only thing is like, and I know this is like such a small thing, but like the reaction time after he started screaming was like a little low. Like it or took him or a
Right.
little slow rather. Like I was like,
Yeah.
y'all are
I'm
fell
glad he
asleep,
went.
the
All right,
fire's
bye.
gone. Like y'all ain't doing so good, family. Like
He could go. It's cool.
yeah, they were like, well, he was the weakest character, so we'll just yeah, that
Yeah.
part was really good though. I liked it. And it's funny
Yeah.
because like we're sitting here talking about like how like family friendly it is, but I kind of forgot about the snatching up the kid with the chains. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Right.
And it is
Yeah.
still like not that bad, but also like it definitely snatched that kid up.
He snatched him for sure. And
Yeah.
then everybody's trying to bring him back down. It's like a little chain. They're all trying to pull him back out,
Oh
but he
yeah.
still went. And
Yeah.
then down comes his shoe.
Oh man. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like a oh moment. I liked that part.
Yeah.
That was well done. That whole scene was really well done. I
Mhm.
liked it.
But I feel
Eh,
like everybody's reactions are just late throughout the whole movie.
they are.
Why
Eh,
would you let your daughter go out into the snowstorm? Why are you gonna not watch it? Keep watch. You're supposed to stay awake, and like there
Yeah,
was just
at that
moments.
stage, I couldn't sleep that easily. I couldn't just be like, "All right, I'm just gonna take like a nap."
Yeah.
Like I couldn't do that. But I mean, and it's unfortunate because it's little small things like that though that really can make a difference because it does make it less real. Because it's like obviously they react slowly so the scene can finish. Like we
Mhm.
know outside of it, from the movie side of it, it's like okay, they took too long because they want to show the kid being snatched up by the chains. We know that. But on the inside, I'm thinking if I were no, I'm not. If I am as a mother, that would not be my baby wrapped up in no
No,
chains.
nope, nope, at all.
I'm just saying.
And I'm a light sleeper, so I think I would definitely hear the chain coming down, or like the slightest
Yeah,
noise would wake me up, and
yeah.
best believe I'm getting my child off that chain. I don't care how good you wrapped him around it.
Yeah, I'll break it
No,
with my teeth. Mom,
yeah,
superpower or whatever. Yeah,
all my
no.
teeth going with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't even care. It's got to come off. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and I did feel like I will say that with them even being slow to react to that, the mom's reaction to when
Yeah.
the different things happen with the kids is pretty sad. Like she just looks like she's so defeated, especially like towards
Right.
the end of it
And she
all.
didn't even try to help though. She just like,
She's in
I
panic
think you guys
mode.
got it.
She's
Like
like,
if that's
surely
my child.
someone will get them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't it's hard for me to sit through stuff when moms are not like good moms, like
Right.
when they're not like when they're not like proactively doing something like
Mhm.
no, like
Oh,
I
Auntie's
just
got it. What?
yeah,
No.
no. That's
Nobody's gonna
definitely
have it better than Mama.
yeah, that's like a whole nother yeah.
Mm,
It's like the whole like moms lifting up cars and stuff to like get to their kids. Like it's shit's no joke. That bond
exactly.
is very serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
poor choice after poor choice, I feel. And that's what brings my number down to like from 10 to 7. And it's just
Yeah.
okay. Little things that bother me. Try
Yeah.
not to nitpick, but it does it's a make or break situation when it comes to a
And
good horror movie.
well, and I will say this too, talking about like picking the things that made a difference as far as the numbers. I think the only reason in reality that this gets such a high rating for me to begin with is because of the ending. I think
Yeah.
if it had had a perfect little bow ending, I actually probably wouldn't have rated it as high. But the ending was such a oh kind of moment, that you kind of you get comfortable thinking it's just going to be this wash, like they're going to hopefully learn their lesson but get to move on with their life or whatever. And then
Right.
that rug gets snatched down, you're just like, "Oh shit, like not so much."
Right.
And I think if they
Because it leaves it wiggle room to add more to it. And that's why I guess there's more to it.
yeah.
And I need to know.
I
I
know.
needs
What?
to
Yeah.
know.
And like you said, you said this too about like it also like it makes you question things because you're like, okay, so like how aware are they? Like at some point, are they going to
Exactly.
go outside and like not be able to go to work, not be able to go to school? Like you start thinking about through these scenarios in your head, like of what's going to happen after Christmas Day when they're
Yeah.
stuck in this snow globe. Like did the
Yeah.
whole
As soon as you
town, the
see
whole
that
state?
whole ending, you're just like a million and one questions pop in your mind.
Yeah, but in a good way, not a they didn't
Mhm.
take the time to explain anything and it was a horrible ending way. Like this is
Right.
a good I have a lot of questions. And I really think that's the only reason it gets an 8 for me because I think if they had gone a different route, it'd be like a 5 or a
Mhm.
6.
Right. And kind of like the family, it's kind of a messy movie that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's a messy movie that comes together in pieces, kind of like the gingerbread cookie. You make it starting from pieces and it comes together
that's
as a
right. Yeah.
gingerbread cookie. And that's the way the movie kind of it comes together. But
Yeah.
movie ends with questions, and I think maybe there might be answers in the other ones. And now I'm
Oh,
just super
look.
curious to watch the other ones.
How many other ones are there? Because I don't even think I realized there were ones that connected to this
I
movie.
don't know. I want to say two or three more, right? At least two more.
The Devil Returns 2016. I was trying to see if it would tell
Oh
me
crap.
sequels.
So I'm a chronological order person and not like when the movie comes out person.
Oh dear God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh Lord.
And I'm
Which
gonna
kind of
guess
makes me happy. Kind of
based
like I'm a huge Conjuring series fan.
yeah, I love The
So
Conjuring.
I like that there's many of them. But
Yeah.
for all of them, hmm,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
there's
have to
7.
sit and like
And
marathon this.
I would guess based on the font choice and the cover designs, they are all connected.
Okay.
Because
And I
all the
wonder if it
fonts,
has to do with all the other snow globes.
there's one called The Reckoning, The Christmas Devil, The Devil Returns, Krampus Unleashed, Mother Krampus, Krampus Origins, and Night of the Krampus.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yep.
That just mind blew me. I didn't think there was gonna be that many. I just thought like Krampus 1, 2, 3 or something. I
E-
didn't think a whole series.
The film is a sequel to the 2013
2013.
2013
And what are we
film.
talking about?
The
2015?
Krampus, titled Krampus the Christmas Devil. It's saying that our movie is a sequel to that.
Interesting.
No, it's oh, if you go under IMDb, it will tell you what order to watch them in. And ours is
Oh,
first,
oh
2015.
good. Good
But the other
then. I'm
ones,
not getting spoiled here.
but I don't think the other ones are rated PG-13.
Uh-oh. Just watch this one
Yeah.
with your 13-year-old or older.
Yeah, I think the other ones look like they might be a little more gory and stuff. There's like a naughty version of
Mhm.
Krampus, but I haven't seen that cut of it. But from my understanding, it's really not that much. Like there's very little like
Mhm.
anything extra as far
Right.
as gore, language, or whatever. So it's not really that, you
Now I'm
know.
super curious, and now I want to do like 12 Days of Christmas with Krampus.
You probably find 12 movies.
Yeah. I'm
That's
going up
7.
on vacation soon, so I need to watch these.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. I think yeah, I really like this movie a lot. It is fun. It's a really fun one. I think I may have told you about this other one that I really, really like. It's darker than this though. It's called Puka.
Mm.
You
No, I
should watch,
haven't heard that one.
you should watch that one. That one's on Hulu. It's
Cool.
dark though. It's not. It's like a psychological horror.
Mhm.
Um,
Like it.
but Puka is what I call my son. So when I saw
Uh-oh.
the movie, I was like, "Shut up!" I was like, "I have to watch this right now."
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I love all horror movies. My favorites are possessional type.
Oh yeah. If you like possession movies, there's a movie called Hellhole. It's a Spanish. Is it Spanish? No, it's not Spanish. What is it? It's what is it on? It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's relatively new. I was gonna tell you, it's not Spanish. What is it? It's I'm gonna feel really dumb in a second because it's gonna be like, uh, not even close. It's Polish. What the hell was I thinking? I just remembered it had subtitles. I couldn't remember where it was made. It's Polish. But anyway, but it's a really good movie about possession.
Okay.
But yeah, well, yeah, that's my thoughts on Krampus. You got anything you want to add?
No, I think we did it.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I'm trying to think of any other
Fun.
scenes, but I think we covered it all.
I think we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is crazy though how it started as a huge family and it took out every single one. Every single one.
All the way
It didn't
down.
leave no man behind.
He was not playing. He's like, I'm sick of y'all shit.
Yeah. As all of us were as watchers.
That's true. It's like what is it? What's that? Fish in a barrel or whatever, where it's like easy to pick them out because they're all in like one place.
Yes.
He's like, yep, cleaning house.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like that they didn't really show him that much. We got to see his feet, his face a little bit, his big cloak.
Yeah, not too much. The whole scene where he's jumping from house to house, that was cool.
That was really cool. Yeah. I really like that. Yeah, that was really cool. Well, cool. Well, thank you for making time. This was fun.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us in this episode of Saturday Horror Movie Reviews Christmas Edition. If you haven't seen Krampus and you watch this whole thing, I'm confused. Go watch it. It's on Peacock. Like I said, it's probably on other things by the time this goes out. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week coming up, and I'll see you in the next one.